Galatians 3:1-5 makes little sense unless its verses are placed in contrasting positions to distinguish between the works of the law and hearing with faith. Yet the primary theme of the passage appears in the middle between the two contrasting parts. So let's take a look now at Galatians chapter 3, verses 1-5. You foolish Galatians, did you receive the Spirit by the works of the law or by hearing with faith? Are you so foolish, having begun by the Spirit, are you now being perfected by the flesh? Did you suffer so many things in vain, if indeed it was in vain? So then, does he who provides you with the Spirit and works miracles among you do it by the works of the law or by hearing with faith? Now, that's the way we read the passage. And you read it, and maybe you get a little bit of meaning out of it, but I don't know. It really is in a chiastic construction, so I'm going to show you that chiastic construction. There are two A lines, and they're related. Did you receive the Spirit by the works of the law or by hearing with faith? Now look at the A2 line. Does he who provides you with the Spirit and works miracles among you do it by works of the law or by hearing with faith? The answer is they received the Spirit by hearing with faith. That's the answer. Now let's look at the B lines. They're in the middle here. It's an ABBA construction. Having begun by the Spirit, are you now being perfected by the flesh? That's referring to circumcision. And then it goes on, did you suffer so many things in vain, if indeed it was in vain? Suffering is the circumcision. You don't need to be circumcised because you have the flesh. The A lines are something new, which is the Spirit. You received the Spirit by hearing with faith. It's something new. And in the middle is what is old. The old is the circumcision. We have a contrast here. We have the Spirit, and the Spirit comes by hearing with faith. And then the contrast is works of the law. So we have works of the law or hearing with faith. Now we go back to the contrast again. Having begun by the Spirit, are you now being perfected by the flesh, circumcision? Did you suffer so many things in vain, and indeed it was in vain? Why is circumcision in vain? Having begun by the Spirit, is it in vain? Well, there are 613 laws that you have to memorize, but wait a minute. If you walk by the Spirit, you're doing those 613 laws. You know, how do you recognize a chiastic construction? You hear repetition, repetition, repetition. And if there's repetition, you think, could it be chiasm? And you take a look and see if it's chiasm. In this case, it was hearing by faith, works of the law, hearing by faith, works of the law. So that clued us off to the fact that it was a chiasm. We looked at the chiasm, and now we understand the passage. I trust this series on uncovering mysteries in the New Testament has convinced you there is a much greater depth to the gospel of Christ than is currently being taught. If you want to know more, we have a self-study course called Hebraic Methods of Bible Study on Udemy that you can take at your own pace when you are ready.